One of the things that so many small business owners struggle with, especially ones that are service-based, is attracting leads, getting leads, generating leads. And whether it's not getting enough leads or not getting the right type of leads into your inbox, know that you are not the only one who struggles with this. But the thing is, it's not just about getting leads, because when you just get leads and they're not quality leads, it's really kind of a waste of time, right? And that's terrible. So the core of the problem here is making sure that your marketing is attracting the highest quality leads that you can. And what that means is attracting the folks who are most likely to ask for a proposal, sign a contract, and start paying your invoices. But the thing is that this part of marketing, the whole I need to attract better leads, is a mix of both science and an art. And when it comes to the science part, we're talking about consumer psychology and psychographics. And I mean, in plain English, just getting to know your ideal customers and clients. On the art side of things, this is where you have to take everything that you've learned about who they are as people and translate that and turn it into content that's bringing them in to your marketing and sales funnel. So in this video, I wanted to talk through some of the ways that you can dig into your customers, better get to know them, and then ways you can organize all that information and put it to good use in your NG account. So let's dig into how you can really get to know your clients and who they are as people, what makes them tick, so that you can start doing your marketing in a way that is attracting higher quality leads. Now, the core of all of this is really getting to know the problem that your potential clients are experiencing and the solution that they're looking for. Because at a fundamental level, this is what's motivating them to turn to friends and family or the internet and try to find someone who provides a service like you or potentially has a product like yours. So there are a couple, honestly, I could do a 3-hour webinar about this, but that's not what you want. So we're going to keep this boiled down to just a couple minutes. And there are two things that I want you to really focus in on here. The first is identifying that problem. And when I'm talking about identifying the problem, I'm not just talking about surface level, right? And there's an example that you may have seen around on the internet or just heard somewhere in everyday life if you hang out with nerdy marketers who like to talk about this stuff. But the example is, if someone is looking for a hammer, why is it that they want to buy a hammer? Now, the surface level is they need to pound a nail into something. And that's the surface level explanation. But if you start to go deeper and ask, why do they need to, nail something into a wall? It's probably something like they want to hang a family photo. And then you could keep going from there to really, there's a certain point where I'm like, this is just a little bit too woo-woo for me. And sometimes you just need to buy a hammer. Hi, my name is Taylor and I'm a hardcore realist. But I think you get the point here. I want you to think of their problem and go a few layers deeper to really understand what it is that's really motivating them to go and try to find something to solve their problem. The next thing is, once you understand that, I want you to think about, what does that person need to see, hear, and feel from you in relationship to that problem and the solution that they're trying to find. And this is where the art part comes in. And this is really going to help you start to think of what kind of content that you can be producing that's going to make your marketing really effective. And one of the ways that's super helpful to think about this is, whether you like to think of it as a funnel or concentric circles, your core customer problem, like the thing that's going to push them over the edge to hit buy, sits at the very middle of it, right? That's the bullseye. But then there are these concentric circles that go out from there. And the further away you get from that bullseye, the more generic the things that they need to see, hear, and feel from you probably are. But on the opposite end of that, the closer you get to that bullseye, that center core problem, the more specific the things that they need to see, hear, and feel from you are. So think of I mean, I'm looking down because that's the way that my brain looks at things. But however your brain works, I want you to think of the customer problem and then create at least a few concentric circles and then define what are the things that that person needs to see, hear, and feel from you. And once you've done that deep thinking, there's a perfect spot in Engie for you to document this so that you can start to put it to work. And that perfect place is here in your marketing strategy within Engie and where you see the ideal customer personas. Now, when you created your marketing strategy, we asked you some questions about who your customers are, and based on their age, or if you are in the wedding industry, their wedding budget, we've put in a few places for you to build out your personas as a starting point. So you're not starting from scratch. But once you've sat down and thought about, okay, what is my client's problem? What is my solution? What do they need to see, hear, and feel? You can come into your persona and you can add photos. You can, are they mostly men, women? Are they anyone? What's their age? For some basic demographics, because that is important to know. But then there's a spot for you to put in that problem and solution statement that you spent time thinking about. So what is it that Samantha really struggles with? Maybe it's that she struggles to find clean beauty products. And so if I was a retailer, what would the solution for that be? Then this is a great spot for you to type in details about what does someone like Samantha need to see, hear, and feel in their marketing from you in order to feel like, okay, I really need to buy from or hire this person. And one of the other things that you can do here so that your marketing then is really getting tailored to a persona like Samantha is adjust the tone and style details that you see here at the bottom of the persona details page. Because when you're using the AI copywriter, it's going to pull from your general brand voice, which is great because it helps the copywriter write more like you, sound more like you. But just like as we are as people, sometimes we need our marketing to kind of read the room. And maybe certain personas need to be talked to a little bit differently. So that's why it's great to add these details, because then when you're in the copywriter, you can let the copywriter work off of your default brand voice, or you can toggle between customer personas to let it know, hey, I want you to write more specifically for this persona over another. Now, one of the questions that you might be thinking in your head is, how many personas do I need to end up with? And really, there's no hard and fast answer, but my suggestion is to have one for each of your services or main products. And the reason that is because you have broken out your services and products to be what they are because they each solve different problems, right? And so since everything about your customer persona is really founded in what's motivating them to solve a specific problem, I really recommend that you build out a few. So when you're here on your strategy, you can click the plus button and then add a customer and you'll get an additional persona, and then you can start building out from there. But I really encourage you to take the time to do this, because this is how you start to really refine your marketing messages over time. And then it's better to start making moves now because, it doesn't happen overnight. But over time, you absolutely can get your marketing to a point where you are attracting better and high quality leads. And if you have any questions as you're digging in, feel free to message us through the chat bubble if you have questions or just want to bounce an idea around, or you can always come to the CMO sessions and we can chat through things live. But I hope this is helpful, and I hope this has inspired you to do a little bit of customer research to make your marketing even more effective.